So what we're going to do now is the bench press. So first thing that we need to do for the bench press is make sure that the barbell is at an appropriate height. So for Nereus, that when he comes down and lies onto the bench, and when he grabs hold of the bar, he should have a moderate bend into the elbows. So if he was to then straighten the arms from there, the barbell should be a good 2 to 3 inches higher than the rack. So what we're going to do is make sure for the starting position now that Nereus is going to have his eyes directly in line with the barbell. And with the width of his hands on the barbell, a lot of it is dependent on the person, but if you come so close together, it's going to be mainly an arm exercise from there. And if it goes too wide, then it's going to place a lot less emphasis on the chest. It's going to have much less range of motion from here. So what we tend to say to most people is just have the hands that are slightly wider than your shoulders, and really always make sure that you're using the rims on the bar as a point of contact. So you don't have one hand somewhere on the bar and then the other hand completely somewhere else, and then you try to lift the bar and then it's just going to tilt straight away. Just like that. All right. We want to also make sure that the wrists, the knuckles are facing up to the ceiling, so he's not curling backwards. So if he had a ring on his finger like I do, it will be facing right up to the ceiling from here. Now, first thing is then with the feet. We're then going to bring the feet towards the bum. Now there are a couple different stances that you can use. You can actually have the feet really far apart from each other and then pushing the knees out to the side. Or we can bring the feet more narrower together towards the bum. So from this position, notice how his knees are actually a little bit lower than his hips and the heels are actually off the floor. And this is totally okay. So what we're now going to do is, or what Nereus is going to do, is push his feet into the floor, but almost trying to make sure that he can then push away so that he's putting all the pressure into the upper traps. So then he's going to lift his hips off the bench a little bit, and then he's going to have his elbows in line with his shoulders whilst he's then getting the barbell out of the rack. So from this position, he's going to push up, and then he's going to relax the hips back onto the floor, and then you'll notice that the barbell's already come in front of the rack. Now, his feet are pushing straight downwards into the floor, as hard as he can. He's going to be squeezing up the stomach. He's going to have a lot of tension in his core. He's going to make sure that now his knuckles are still facing up to the ceiling, and he's got a little bend in his arms. He's going to take a big breath, squeeze up tight in his stomach and his back, and then lower the barbell down to his chest. So almost like he's going down to the nipple line of his chest. And then he's going to push back up, making sure that he's got that little bend in his arms still, and he's maintaining the pushing with his feet into the floor, squeezing up the stomach, squeezing up the back muscles. So let's go for a few reps. That's it. So there's a couple things that you can also do with the hands. You can just grip really hard onto the bar, or you can almost picture like you're trying to snap a twig in two. So obviously you're not going to snap the barbell, but with that amount of tension, it is just going to help make sure that the wrists aren't going to be unstable so much. So once he's finished, he's essentially going to do the same technique that he did to get the barbell out of the rack. So he's going to push his feet away, hips are going to come up, arms are naturally going to get the barbell onto the rack, and then he's just going to come down. And then that's it.